¿Te gusta el micrófono que tienen?
Es increíble.
¿Te gusta el micrófono?
Arriving at Lansdowne Road, whether coming off the Dart or walking down Lansdowne Road.
No, y aquí también.
Secondly, we would ask you to have your tickets ready for inspection by the Gardaí. To tell you that official match programs are on sale inside the ground only.
Pero muy bien. Déjamelo así de alto, déjamelo así de alto.
I suppose the great thing about going to Ireland is the pride of playing for your country, and it's very. I think every member of the team and even the fans have all got different feelings on that particular day. But the one thing is that we're playing for Ireland, and it's the jersey and it's the flag, everything about it.
Well, it was our first home game for a while. That was the important thing, and we had to put on a good show in front of the fans. We did, I think, 3 away games, so it was important to get the first home game and get some points. Spain were a very good team when we played them out in Seville. They beat us 2-0. We had quite a different team out to what we normally have, with Kevin in midfield. And after that, the home game, we had a full squad virtually, apart from John through Hillsborough, who didn't make it. And we went out there with a lot of fire in our bellies and wanted to prove a point. And really, we should have won by a few more.
clearance from Bonner, and that's broken nicely from Cascarino to Houghton, but it's still Houghton. Then in the middle, Whelan's there. 15 minutes of the match.
Come in on it, and my son played the ball across, and then somebody went in and missed it, and I thought, hell, Flames are going to come right across the goal. And then the next thing I knew, it was in the back of the net, but apparently it went in off Michel. Michel, is it? You spell his name that way in Northumberland, they call it. Ronnie Whelan actually touched the ball first, and it just clipped off Michel's, and went in the net. But Frank was right behind him, and Frank said he would have knocked it in anyway. It went very much the way I wanted it to go. We worked very hard at closing the man on the ball down and picking up the people around about him. And it was, it's the way when you play a team of the quality of Spain, you've got to do it. The work rate was very high, the commitment was total. And I was quite pleased with the lads the way they did it. They only, maybe in the game, I had about half a dozen times when I really thought we weren't doing it right.
And the final whistle sounds, and Spain's first World Cup defeat is Ireland's first World Cup victory. An outstanding performance at Lansdowne Road by the 12 boys in green.
The pot had been boiling for a long time. Like Giles had organised things very, very well, and we had a lot of good players. We just missed out a couple of times, and then on, we just missed out in goal difference to qualify for the '82 World Cup. And the crowds were spectacular then, but then it all went sour, and things turned very bad for all sorts of reasons. The players got plenty of stick, you know. We were told that we'd no pride in playing for Ireland, and, you know, all this. It was rubbish, really.
Change it, that's it. Change the angle. Well done. Change the angle for him now. That's good. Well done. Come on, change the angle for him. Come here, come here.
Jack was very straight when we saw him. Basically, the first meeting consisted of what he wanted of the players, the way that he wanted us to play, what we do and what we don't do. Which are the principles that which I believe have got us where we are over the last 3 years.
I watched the World Cup in Mexico, in the last World Cup, and I took my book with me, and I wrote things down in my book. And the whole of the world played in exactly the same way. They all played a sweeper, man-to-man markers, pushed the fullbacks up. The fullbacks became the suppliers to the runner, and in many cases, what you call the playmaker. And I thought, we can't play them at their game. They've been doing this for too long for us to compete with them at that. So we have to devise a way of playing that causes them problems. So what we've done is we inflict our game onto people. We will do what we intend. We don't put the ball at risk in the build-up because we don't want to lose the ball in our own half. We play the ball behind people from whatever distance, whether it's a long ball or it's a ball from midfield or whatever. We play the ball behind people, we turn them, and then we chase them, and we want to play as much of the game in their half as possible. Now, I don't mind telling people that, because in order to cater with the way we play, you've got to alter the way you play.
The thing with Jack, I didn't go twice, and I was left out of a tour. I went and booked my holiday, and I was asked to go on the tour a few days before it left, because people are withdrawn for various reasons. At the end of the day, I mean, I lost out on 2 years of representing my country, which was the biggest disappointment of my career. And then to be back and playing all the games in the World Cup was tremendous, and particularly to play at Lansdowne, because apart from me making me so proud, one of the treats is to go out in an Irish jersey, particularly at Lansdowne, and to listen to the national anthem and that, to have I knew how much my family meant to them, particularly in Lansdowne, all to see me play. It was like all over again making your debut for Ireland, and it was absolutely tremendous.
What do you want to sit, Kev?
Good Charlie!
With the back, do you want to be?
Anywhere the whimper.
I think you better.
Right, lads, who wants the ball?
I don't think I'm match you at the back.
John, you've got white, yellow top.
Jack was fortunate in taking on a very, very good set of players. You know, lots of talented players there. And what Jack did give us, and you know, let's take all credit for it, is a sense of belief in ourselves and organisation in the way he wanted us to play. We all knew how he wanted to play. He made that very clear from right from the beginning. And I think when a team knows how the manager wants them to play, how one player is going to play at a certain time in the match and things like that, it makes the team that much stronger. And of course, with the arrival of Houghton and Aldridge and people like that, you know, that could only help things go on. So I think the qualify was on the cards.
Moore. Cascarino and Houghton. And there it is. And the goal, when it came, stunning in its simplicity. Again, Cascarino, the effective target man, and Houghton's first touch superb. His second, delivering it right out of Clewett's reach.
Well, Jack rang me and asked me if I would like to play for the Republic. Obviously, I had to think it over because my dual qualification through Scotland. Scotland would have probably been my main choice, but when Jack phoned me and gave me the news, I talked over with my family. It was too good an offer to turn down.
And no regrets?
No regrets whatsoever. I mean, I've been to European Championships, and hopefully, if fit, I'll be able to go to the World Cup.
Cascarino will obviously be a target, and O'Leary too. Sheedy takes the corner, and Moran's there! And Kevin Moran has added the second.
The second goal went in, it took a lot of the pressure off us. And it also allowed me to say to the lads, settle down now and just play the game out. Because they've, like he says, they've just had four games in 8 days. You know, and I mean, and the amount of work they had to put in for today was enormous.
I suppose some of the boys have got stick over the period because of they were born in England and so on, you know, and something that annoys me greatly when I hear people talking about this, you know. I suppose my little boy now is born here in Scotland, and I would hate to think that anybody would describe him as not being Irish if he wants to go back and play for Ireland. It's a terrible thing to take away from you. The reason for it all is down to immigration. And people had to leave Ireland and still have to go and try and make a bit of money for themselves. That doesn't make them any less Irish.
I was very proud of the fact, I must admit, that I was going to become the first black player to play. I've always been very proud of the heritage on both parents' sides. So something I was very proud of. But a little bit of apprehension of how I was going to be treated. because I didn't know. That was soon dispersed as such as soon as I got over there, and was welcomed tremendously, tremendous welcome, and it's been like that ever since.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with having a competition for places, because it only makes everybody play better. It makes everybody strive when they play at the club level every week. And that's really the form that the manager works off, that the players are playing up to scratch. And if you don't play well at club level, you're out of your first team. If you're in the reserves of your club, you're in trouble. And when you're talking about World Cup, it's highly competitive. And there's so many people opting for Ireland now. It's whether they be from Ireland or second or third generation Irish. Everybody wants to go to Italy.
Any more you that cap, got scarf or a t-shirt? Any more you Liverpool sauce t-shirt?
It was really to do with a scout. It was then manager Dundalk, Jim McLaughlin. He wanted me to go to Dundalk from home farm, but I didn't want to go to another League of Ireland club. I wanted to get away, and he said that Liverpool would be interested. So I went to Liverpool for a week and then enjoyed it there. They asked me to sign, and I was only too happy to sign for him. Especially in the first 6 months, I missed home an awful lot. That was when I wanted to pack it in and go back. But I stuck it out, and everything's turned out great. I got married, had kids. Stayed at the club I wanted to play for. So everything's worked out very well for me. I could get injured tomorrow, and then I wouldn't be in the team. And it's always hard, which I found out 2 seasons ago when I missed out in the cup final. It's hard getting back in, and it's times like that when you feel like leaving. But, that's probably the only disappointment I've had, being out of the team when I missed the cup final. I'm back in now, and I've only missed 2 games in the last 70 or something, so I'm on a good run. Hopefully I can keep that going. I think we took each game as it came at Lansdowne. We knew there was going to be great support, which we did get. We picked up 2 good away points in Hungary and Northern Ireland. So we knew if we could win the 4 games at home, we could easily qualify.
Again, well played by the full-back. Staunton's cross. McGrath hits there!
And then eventually the goal went in. And then we wanted another one fairly quickly, but it didn't come, and they started to put us under pressure a little bit with starting to push the midfield, the centre back, the sweeper back into midfield. Caught us out a little bit, we were starting to tire a little then. And then Packy made that save. Whew. Tremendous save.
Rolled to him by Deteri. The great power in the shot. Bonner deflected it, but it touched off the goalpost. It must go down as good goalkeeping, though.
This is my 12th season at Parkhead now. I came over in July 1978. And that's when I joined Celtic. I was over a couple of months previously for twice, I think, on trials. And I joined, that was, I think, probably Neil's first time here too. He started at July. I've been more or less with him ever since, you know. I made my international debut on the 24th of May, 1981, which was my 21st birthday. I was away in Poland. Unfortunately, the result wasn't too good. We could beat 3-0 that particular day, but I enjoyed it. It was the first game for Ireland. I think it's a unique occasion in anybody's life. It wasn't really until Jack took over that I got a continuous run in the side, and it was then that we started to play to a particular system, and I suppose I, like the rest of the guys, started to think about the game at international level, and it was from that period on I think that we started learning, and I think from that period on also that I started to perform quite well for Ireland.
I've got extremely good players who could play a lot prettier football in the eyes of the pundits if I would allow them to do it. But I don't want them losing the ball on the halfway line. I don't want all the intricacies of what people think the game should be about. The game is about being effective, being aggressive, winning the ball, getting on with the play. And within that, if you can put a bit of skill in when it's necessary and in the right place, then put it in. But it's got to happen naturally, and it's not got to be invented. I don't like changing things. I don't like making substitutions. When the game's right and your team are right, I don't like substitutions. And I've got to really dig myself to do it. I always think if you're liable to upset the pattern of the play if you start introducing new players at a time like that, and you might change it for the worse. But our game is such a running game and such a not letting the other team settle and play that, you know, somebody's going to run out of steam. So like I say, I've got to push myself into it sometimes. But Chris Morrison's a very fit young lad, and he's a very good player, and he's going to cover the ground for you, which he did.
I was actually born in Newquay in Cornwall, and I was quite a late starter really coming into football. Stayed on for the extra 2 years after O-levels, took my A-levels, and was heading for a course in physical education, having thought that, you know, football had passed me by. And I got a trial with Sheffield Wednesday, funnily enough when Jack Charlton and Maurice Setters were there. Originally joined, it would have been in 1987, start of 1987 season. We won the double in the first year, won the Scottish Cup the second year. We're in there with a shout again this year. Obviously that's very important to me. The other side of it, my wife's very settled here, and we're quite happy. I don't think you can look any further ahead than the 3 years. That's the longest contract I've ever signed in my football career, so I think that says that I am committed to Celtic. My mother, all her family are Irish. They're very proud. They always wanted me to play for Ireland in preference to England or anybody else. And I feel very strongly about it. I mean, when I had the chance to declare for Ireland, that was my simple choice. I mean, for any forms I always put down, I'm Irish, hold an Irish passport. And that'll be me from now until the day I die. I'll be Irish.
Garrow falling over, no free kick. Out with Cascarino in the middle, and it's Cascarino, and it's there!
And then we got the goal, which took the pressure completely off. The game was over. But we needed that goal at some time in the game, and we took a long time in getting it.
You may be 2 points short, but you must be very close to qualification now, Jet, in your own mind.
Well, we've got Northern Ireland here, which now is going to be a big event.
Current situation in Group 6. Well, Spain are still at the top. They've got 10 points from 6 games. And their manager, Luis Suarez, here this afternoon, I'm sure he's been impressed by what he saw, because just 2 points behind him are the Republic of Ireland, with 8 points from 6 games as well. Yep.
I didn't turn pro for United till I was 21, nearly 22, and I thought that was a great time, and I would nearly recommend it to people as well to sign pro as late as possible. Now, that's not always the case, because you get an awful lot of kids that may have nothing going for them at the time of 16, 17 years of age, and they get the opportunity, a big club comes in, and it's very hard to turn around and say no to it. But I was fortunate that I was able to go on, and I was involved with the Dublin Gaelic team, as you know, and went to college and got a degree and did a year doing accountancy. So I had a little bit of the business background, or a little bit of a background anyway, just to fall back on if anything went wrong. And I think that's a great situation to be in. Not only for the fact that it gives you that background, but the fact that I feel at 17 is just that little bit too young and possibly too immature for young players to go over.
Well, London's frightening. I mean, you know, for me, when I left home at 15, I mean, you're a kid still, and to come to a place this size, it's just unbelievable. In Dublin, my interest was, the big thing was to watch Match of the Day of a Saturday night, and to be allowed up to see that. I'd come over for the week here on trial, and they liked me, and I signed just after that in Dublin. And when I came over, I didn't know what had hit me. I mean, it's when you're over on trial, you're here for a week, you know, you're going back. But the day I arrived here, I was put in digs, completely away from all your family at home and friends. I wanted to go back straight away, definitely. And the first couple of years, I was very, very homesick indeed. I've signed, say, 3-year contracts, so it's always come up. There's always been that speculation to move, and I've had some tremendous offers from clubs here and abroad, but I've always wanted to stay at Arsenal Football Club. I was always happy here. I think it's one of the great clubs of the world. The week I had, I'd won the league championship on the Friday night with Arsenal. Beat Malta in the World Cup game on the Sunday, 50,000 crowd there. Following Sunday, 50,000 crowd, beat Hungary. It was just an absolutely fantastic week, and it really sunk home to me. Liam Brady just said, what a week you've had. And I suppose it was the best week of my life in soccer, and I think in the nicest way, without trying to be sounding off. I've had some great moments through my career, but I think that week was so special.
had a look at 3 players. I looked at Frank Stapleton, at Tony Galvin, and I looked at Liam Brady. And I didn't particularly want to play those 3 in that game against West Germany, but it was a friendly match, and I could take an opportunity to have a look at them.
So I was pretty nervous that day, you know, because I knew I was playing for a lot. Personally, it wasn't. You know, I think Jack was more or less saying to me, "Look, I'm not too sure about you anymore. It's up to you today to prove that you can still do it."
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get on.
Galvin, Stapleton, and tidied up by Hester, and it's there! Stapleton's in for the goal, and he's equalled the record. And just 10 minutes on the clock, and Frank Stapleton capitalising on the error, just as he did.
Although we were winning 1-0 after a few minutes, it wasn't going the way I knew Jack would like it to go. He wanted the Germans to be pressurised, and you know, us putting plenty of balls in the box and creating chances or whatever, and it just didn't go that way at all. They just kept knocking about, and we couldn't get near them.
Playing football at this level is a cohesive game. It's where everybody's got to know what they're at, and everybody's got to do their job. And we had too many people in the first half weren't doing the job.
Ryan Brady there. Dorfner's coming onto this. Dorfner's shot! Oh, what a goal!
I was very disappointed with the German goal because it's a sort of area you don't let the Germans have time to settle on a ball and have a shot like that. I couldn't see it actually. I'd be interested to see it on the television. It's about closing people down. And we've all gone back, we've all settled in the box, we've all picked up our positions, and then the ball's clipped back outside the 18-yard box, and nobody came. One man must always come to the ball in those situations, and nobody came, and the fella just had time to have a little look, settled, stuck it away.
The ball was played across to him, and our defence rushed out to try and block it, and it blinded me a little bit, and the way he hit it, it swerved into my right-hand side, you know, and it was really past me before he even moved forward, you know. The dive was just for TV, you know.
And the Germans were running through us across midfield. And I felt after 10, 15 minutes, I should have brought him off then, but I thought, no, I'll leave it a while. And I did. But I couldn't leave it any longer. My responsibility is not to one player in a game. My responsibility is to the 43,000 people that were at that game who wanted to see us beat Germany. Now, I might have left Liam for 15 minutes, but I felt sat on the bench if I'd have done that, because of the way we were letting the Germans get at us in a way that they'd never had the privilege, or no team had had the privilege of for years. It might do too much damage to our style of play. So I had to bring him off.
Well, I was pretty annoyed, disappointed.
Well, Liam's problem with us was from the very beginning, and Liam knew this. Liam is basically a player like Johnny Giles, who likes to think that they start the play. They come and take the ball off the back four, and they play it through midfield, they get it back, and they knock balls in, and then they play the final ball, and they build up through midfield. That's exactly the way I didn't want us to play. And Liam knew from the very beginning that if he was going to be part of our setup and our team, Liam had to take the ball off our forward players, not our defending players.
Did you find that you had to adopt your style of play, or say, this is how I play, Jack?
Yeah, you had to. You couldn't be over elaborate when you had the ball. You just... But having said that, you know, there's nobody going to stop me from picking a pass out when I see the pass. There's nobody going to stop Mark Lawrenson from doing it, or Ronnie Whelan from doing it. You know, okay, Jack's style has brought us tremendous success, but in that style, there are players who have played the game the way I think, you know, you should play it, and you just can't stop players doing things like that. It's when you maybe risk a pass and lose it, and that's when Jack, you know, blows his top.
And I lost my voice shouting at Liam, and probably for 2 years, to try and get Liam, which he did very well. I mean, the game against Bulgaria, when we won 2-0, I mean, I thought that was Liam's. The penny had suddenly dropped to Liam on what we wanted of him, because I remember him making a tackle on a fullback almost outside their 18-yard line, that he had run 20, 30 yards to get to, and he put the player under pressure and he won the ball. And I said, Liam, that's what we want. We don't want you to drop off, we want you to go and compete. I've always admired Liam as a great player. I mean, he's been one of the most gifted players I've ever seen. I'm Jack to play a little bit like him, but I couldn't. He's done tremendously for me in the 4 years that I've been the manager here. And I was a bit sorry that it was going to end on a sour note, so I wrote him a letter. And I explained to him that there's no way I wanted to hurt him. What I did was purely and simply because I'm doing my job. And no way had I any intention of hurting Liam. And I got a nice letter back from Liam to say that he understood, and he was a bit hasty, and that he would always be welcome. We would always want to, if there was a need for him, to answer the call, and that he wishes all the best in the rest of our games. And in fact, we've had a telegram of every game since from Liam wishing the lads all the best on the day. So, and I've seen Liam a couple of times since, and it's okay now. There's no hassle, no worry. It was a good lesson for us. We needed to learn that if you allow people to settle and you don't close people down away and knock people off the ball early enough, in other words, like we did the first half, we get one man running towards the man on the ball and everybody else is standing around with marking space. You don't mark space, you close the people around. We did it much better the second half. And I enjoyed the game the second half. I didn't enjoy the first. But then again, like I said, it was a good lesson.
It was very difficult for us to play against his style, because our players and our team, we play a different style of football in Germany. We are not used to play against opponent like the English teams are doing, to keep pressure on, and it's for us very difficult. And I am convinced the Irish team, I'm convinced they will be qualified for the World Cup, and they play a good performance next year. It's a very experienced team.
Would you like to see them in your group if you qualified?
Not really.
Although a lot of the world's teams will have had a look at us now, they will still find it difficult to play against the type of game we play again without changing their pattern and their style. That's nice, Frank. You like this one? Pretty good. Yeah, it's very, 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 very. This one will frighten a few people off. Made him want to shave.
Let's roll it there now. Okay. Hold on, sorry. Hold one more.
Marketing has become the biggest thing in soccer now, and you know, it's just something we've got to accept. It's not something that you can just turn your back on. Football is a very marketable product now. The fact that television's got such a big influence on football, particularly in the English game, also on the continent because I played there, and I know how much they could dictate to the football leagues and the clubs over there about how much they can show. It's very marketable because sponsors are only interested in something they can see on television.
The players' pool is the vehicle for all the members of the Irish international squad to maximise the benefits to them financially out of their success. It's been done in the past in the UK, where all the teams that qualify for the FA Cup final do exactly the same thing. In this case, there are about 26 members of the players' pool.
The concept of the whole thing was not to be exploited, to be really prepared. We went looking for people to look after the players' pool because you need professional people to do that.
This current Irish squad is different. Liam Brady remarked to me recently that the kind of support which we're getting from the players' pool in anything that we're trying to do on their behalf, you wouldn't get that from the English squad. But they're all looking after their own particular interests. So there's a tremendous unity, truly a real unity among all the squad in this present Irish team. And interestingly, I don't know what the percentage is, but I know off the top of my head the Packy Bonners, the Dave O'Learys, the Tony Cascarinos, the Niall Quinns, Steve Stauntons. These players don't have agents. They balk at the very notion of having an agent because they feel that the agents that are about in the UK at the moment are giving the game a very bad name.
I've never had an agent in my life, so maybe I've lost out on money that way, but I just didn't want it to be dictated to, or I have to go here, I have to go there a certain day. Every agent has asked me to come on the books, in other words, but I haven't taken it up, and people say I've been mad, but I feel happier in my own way that I know that if I've got Monday off or whatever day off, I can do what I want to do with the family on that day. And that's what suits Dave O'Leary, I'm afraid.
I've seen kids at West Ham, they never talk about winning medals or FA Cup finals or something like that. When we started the game, that's all we wanted to do. But they just talk about contracts and sponsorship, and not only at West Ham, I'm sure this is right across the board. But unfortunately, that's the way the game has gone.
The game is benefiting the players a lot more than it used to. You know, we can go back to the 60s and everybody's harping about the past all the time, and I'm not one to believe in that. I think you've got to believe in what's happening today and what you look to the future all the time.
One last week on the Italia. We scored 2 this week.
There's so many different areas now between players themselves and the association itself, and everybody's got a commercial interest, so in that sense it won't be oversold, but you have to be careful you don't get caught with the commercial interests predominating and the game being forgotten about.
There's lots of things that go along with being a part-time manager of an international side who have never won anything, never qualified for anything, and have no interest to anybody. But all of a sudden, when you become interesting to everybody, and we have become interesting over the last 2 years to probably every country in the world, and then Europe certainly want to know what's going on here.
The breakthrough, and Jack Charlton cannot believe it.
Obviously, I think the UK papers are getting a lot more involved with us. I think this has happened mainly because of our success in the European Championships as well. I think in the last game you realise that when we played Holland, BBC actually turned off from the England-Russia game and actually focused in on our game in that particular time.
You get a lot of pressure with success as well. You know, you're going to get media coverage where you wouldn't have got before, depending on how far you go in each tournament.
To play a match every 2 months. Now write about it virtually every day, and they're on the phone to me every day. I have responsibilities for things I have to do for the FAI here, and I'm back and forth like a yo-yo on the plane now. I'm only delighted that there's a flight today from Newcastle. Sometimes I'm in and out here twice a week. So the job has become very much a full-time job. We always get players with a little niggle here and niggle there, and we tend to not let them do anything. We give them a rest for 3 days and treat them, and then we have a look at them tomorrow morning. We'll take them out, give them a ball, and push them very hard. You've seen the boys this morning, Paul McGrath and Kevin Moran. They've been, and young Staunton, they've just been walking about. We don't do anything with them. We'll see tomorrow. That could be the biggest party you've ever seen in your life in Dublin tomorrow, depending on 2 results, ours and the game in Hungary. And we could have qualified here tomorrow. We would like to do that. In order to do it, we've got to win the game.
Can you tell them?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. Who's that?
Who's that, Robbie?
I don't think anybody likes coming here and playing against us, and we proved it again today. Although it was a sticky first half, we were nervous, I think. Everybody told us it was the most important game, although, to be honest with you, we didn't need telling. And that makes us tense. I mean, it meant so much to us personally, but we knew how much it meant to everybody else as well.
Billy, who's a very knowledgeable lad, looked at us and said, the way not to let them settle and play is when they knock the balls in, don't stop them and try to play out, just knock them back at them again. And they did it very well. And they might have scored, which might have put the cap right among the pigeons.
Half-time. And Michael O'Neill got in behind Nick McCarthy, and Bowler did well to make the block. And personally, I thought McCarthy was holding on to Michael O'Neill.
We should have been one down. He should have scored. You know, it was more a bad miss than a good save, really, that kept it out.
And then Northern Ireland had a second chance in that same attack. Bonner lost the ball. Dennison couldn't put it in the net, and the score remains.
I think they fell down after missing it, actually.
When we played Northern Ireland, I was actually playing at Fulham in the reserves for West Ham in front of about 50 people, so it was my mind was elsewhere. It was in Dublin, really. But there's things that happen, you just got to get over them and get on with it.
Our players are allowed to play when the situation is right to play in the right areas of the field, but they're not encouraged to play in bad areas of the field. And that is the only difference. And we turn people. When we turn people, we don't let them go collect the ball, turn around with it and bring it back, and then we drop off into our half and give them room to play and decide what they're going to do. We go and chase them in their half and put them under pressure.
Stop was made by Donaghy and Townsend again. Oh, it's a very good piece of play by Andy Townsend. Now Kevin Sheedy. Sheedy to Houghton. Yes!
You couldn't motivate the lads for this one. You had to bring them down. You know, they're all... Very tense. Very tense, and it showed him again. It showed him again. I mean, we were totally relaxed against Hungary, totally relaxed against Spain. We knew what we had to do and we went and did it. But in this game today, with it being Northern, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know whether it would be easy, and we didn't know whether it would be hard, and they made it bloody hard for us for a while. So we're grateful the game's out the way and we won it.
What would it mean to you personally, Jack, to lead Ireland to the World Cup finals?
You're talking about financially. No. To be honest and fair, I mean, we've looked all the time like we were going to get there, and we're getting closer and closer, and we just want that phone call or that little whisper in your ear to say, you're there, you've got it. Nah, it'll mean a great deal to me and the players and the people of Ireland, which is what this is all about, really.
when you're playing for Ireland, the whole of the country is united and completely behind you. Whereas I think players like some of the Scottish players, they play at Hampden, and although obviously everybody wants Scotland to win, the Rangers supporters would like the Celtic players to do less well than the Rangers players. Well, I don't think you get that in Ireland either, so I think we're very lucky in that respect as well.
Well, they've been terrific. Bit of credit to us, the behaviour and everything, the way they get behind us, and even just the little things in where they applauded the opposition when they came out. You know, it's nice to see sportsmanship like that.
There's about 5 minutes to go. No, it's still 2-2.
That's great. Yeah, a draw will do us. I mean, a draw will do us tonight. And, you know, Hungary need to score 4 or 5 goals in Spain. So a draw will be all right for us tonight. We'll be celebrating with champagne tonight.
That's right.
$1 million.
To be honest. Could do with the result coming through one way or the other. 30 seconds to go and 2-2. Yeah, 30 seconds to go and it's 2-2. Okay, where is he?
20 minutes behind.
Game is over.
Game is over. Don't tell us. Game is over.
2-2.
Get this boss of ours, you're on.
Take it easy, 50
years. Yeah, seems like 100.
Billy.
It's 2-2, maybe.
2-2, final result.
No, it's still playing.
No, it's over.
Oh,
is it? Here we go.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I'm coming. They want you upstairs.
No. Well, look, come on, give it a shot.
Go on, help. Help.
So, they're going. They need you upstairs. We can't do 8 goals. I mean, unless they score 8 against Spain in Spain, and we're beaten by Malta. No, it's just lost there. Have to be there. We have to. Come on, boss. We're there. 50 years. 50 years.
You've got a rough old face, mate, I'll tell you.
I'm telling you.
You've got a rough old face, you smash me to death.
Very well. Not quite yet, is it?
Have you the key?
Yes, I've got the key.
Let's go, Chris. Huh?
Hello, Jack.
Listen,
I'm making it look behind you now.
Come on, Chris.
Is there a disappointment that it was a 2-2 result?
Well, a draw before the game would have satisfied me. Yeah. You know, and because that meant that they've got to go to Seville and win by 5 or 6, which is almost, you would think, an impossibility. And we would have to go and lose in Malta by a goal or a couple of goals, which is also near enough, we hope, an impossibility.
The people here are celebrating what they see as qualification.
Well, I would have loved to join them, but you can't celebrate until it's finished and finalised and you're there. I mean, England drew tonight and they're there.
Yeah.
final thought, having won the World Cup with England back in '66, now likely to get to the World Cup as a manager of the Republic, what are your thoughts tonight about England qualifying?
I'm an Englishman. I'm delighted. I hope we're drawing the next round.
Smashing. Thanks so much, Jack. Love it. Thank you, Jack.
Jack, you're the man, yo. Lovely man.
Now, Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Malta. On behalf of Captain Paddy Morrissey and all the crew, Aer Lingus wishes both Irish teams every success over the next few days. Tá mí buíochíomh gur inisibh an Torra Shilling inniu, Slán agus Banach Jailif.
I missed the West Germany game, the Northern Ireland game and the Malta game. The fact that I played 5 out of the 6 other games and to miss perhaps the 2 most important ones, the 2 end games, was a very, very frustrating time.
Well, we're just getting loosened out and stretched. They're all stiff and sore on the plane from the games. So all we're doing is just loosening them out tonight. Then we go back down and have our meal and then go to bed because they're really tired from the flight.
I mean, basically, if you've got a groin injury, there are a lot of occasions where you can do good running, good straight running.
Come here, John! Come out! John! Hold! Come here!
But obviously the twisting and the turning and the kicking is a problem. So basically they make up for it through the running. So my fitness level has been quite good, yeah, and I have very much missed the ball, yeah, very much so.
So what we're doing is getting the fluid down and also working on the ligaments as well to repair the damage done to them, which is very important to us, that we get them right going back to his club as well. And that's really the utmost importance with all the players when they come on international duty. We like to send them back to play on the Saturday with their clubs.
Everybody will be hoping that they can avoid injury from now to the end of the season. But obviously the destiny's not in their hands. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You just got to be hopeful that you can avoid it.
I wouldn't mind staying in the game in some capacity. I think it's as you get older you start realising that you might miss the game a lot more if you went over. So I think I'd like to stay in it some way, coaching or managing or whatever.
A player finishes at 35. He's in a situation where he's finished his schooling, he's finished his education, maybe at 16, 17. He's got no trade at the end of it. And all of a sudden he's thrown out, and he's literally thrown out onto not so much a scrap heap. He may have made a few bob during his time, but he's nothing behind him. And a lot of players find that very, very difficult to cope with because of the fact that the club have nursed them along all the way. In many ways, they've spoilt the player.
I mean, with Frank, myself, and Liam, I mean, they were just great years, probably some of the happiest years of my career here. And it was a great squad, great atmosphere. I mean, there was nobody more sorry to see Liam and Frank go than me. Very sad indeed. They were great players.
O'Leary, Stapleton, yes! And it's in! Stapleton's far post. A great goal! That is a super...
It's unfortunate from my point of view is that if I was 26, 27 years of age, I wouldn't be even looking over my shoulder, but now I'm looking at the other lads and they're looking over their shoulder at me. I prefer to be in their position than be in the position I'm in now, but I'm accepting that because I'm at the latter stages of my career.
Giles with the free. Now it's Brady. Oh, beautifully played, he's in! Yes, Liam Brady!
There's lots of players who have to take some sort of job when they pack in playing football. You know, I think I'm in the position where I can kind of look about and really find something that suits me, rather than take the first job that comes. That's what I would call security.
50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 20.
No, when we're walking, Jack, looks okay.
One more to go.
Aer Lingus and the Met Office say there is no chance of getting a flight out of here before 12 noon tomorrow afternoon.
Because I want to go to Malta. I've been on all the other matches. Why not miss this one?
We understand, and no one but ourselves understand as much as you, that it is terrible you can't get to Malta.
We're going to Malta.
A bit strained at the minute, but he's all right.
Yes, of course, then we get some.
Oh, which side? Okay, when the ball's in there, just throw the balls over to the back, lad, will you?
Once you give you a fitness test, say,
yeah, right, Tony, yeah. Okay.
Come on in, Charlie, be ready.
Well, we gotta go see the youths.
No pressure. After this World Cup, there will be changes. But we've got a lot of young players on the side too. Ronnie Whelan, Chris Morris, a lot of good young players, and Andy Townsend, a nucleus of probably the stars of the future. I watched under-18 team play in Malta, and there's a few of that could come true too. So things aren't too bad.
They're on television. Hold on,
I don't think people realise when, say, myself and Ray and that were younger, that we'd probably come through and be the team in years to come that got to the World Cup. Maybe there is a few lads there. I haven't seen any, but maybe there is one or two who will come on in the next couple of years.
You look at the youth team, but you also look at the situation where there's lads in that youth team who are English-speaking lads, who are born in England and their parentage works again. I'm not saying that as a criticism, because I think without them we wouldn't be where we are today, and they've contributed the same as everybody else. But what I'm saying is that you cannot say that we've got enough within our own island to supply everybody else. And we've made so many strides in the last few years. We've just got to make sure that it's maintained to that extent, and even more in the next few years.
Well, the important thing is the fact that we can qualify for the European Championships for the first time, which is going to be excellent. If we get a result today, then we're going to. It's very important that we do well. And I think it's a great thing that the fact that the senior squads will probably qualify for the World Cups, and when the kids do it in the same year, it would be a great incentive for them.
We will drift players in and out over the next 2 or 3 years in such a way that we hope you won't even notice. But we will certainly have laxities in areas that have been strong for us, like our centre-backs have been strong for us. And whether we can replace them with the quality players that we've had in the past at centre-back, it will be a problem. Whether we find somebody to play alongside Tony Cascarino, because John Aldridge is now, what, 31, 32? John can't go on forever. So there are certain things that we have to adjust and do, but we don't have time to do it because we're into the European qualification for another Nations Cup. But it will be done gradually. We don't have the privilege of saying we'll scrap all that 11 and we'll start with another 11. It doesn't work.
representative? Where's the National Airline representative? We paid that money. I said money gone. I said for this £370 cash. And what's it cost me? And I haven't even got out of Potty Island.
Well, I would like to think when I was speaking in Dublin this morning, there was about 1,800 held back. We're hopeful that could shift them at some stage this evening, but whether that transpires or not, we don't know. But I'm sure it's a big headache for the travel agents, and hopefully for the sake of the fans who paid all the money, they will be able to get out of it.
It's now just 7:30 in the evening, and the Club Air representative behind me is making the announcement that they hope to get one flight away from here tonight to Malta. However, there are still very many other disappointed fans who are due to fly out with some of the other airlines.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort and safety, please remain seated until the aircraft has stopped moving and the doors have been opened. It's been a long 24 hours for most of you. We thank you for being so patient.
I'm delighted that it's cleared and all the lads have come in this morning. Apparently there was a bit of problems in the airport last night with people flying out and other ones wanting to know why they couldn't fly out. But apparently it's all sorted out and they're all on the way.
3 plane loads came in this morning between 6 and 8
Great,
o'clock.
great, great. More the merrier. Paddy Bonner, Paul McGrath at right back, Stephen Stone in left back, 2 centre-backs at Kevin Moran and David O'Leary. Right side is Ray Houghton, Ronnie Whelan, Andy Townsend, Kevin Sheedy, John Aldridge and Tony Cascarino up front. The subs we'll let you know later when we've written them on the sheet and given them the cards.
How did the boys fit, Jack?
Yeah, everybody came through this morning fine, no problem. There was 1 or 2. Tony had a temperature yesterday, but he's over it today. Andy had a good run this morning, just to make sure that he was okay, and he's fine. Ronnie, we knew would play anyway. It was just a case of he feels he's groin at the end of the game. And we rested him before it. So everybody's okay.
League in 6, so it's 1 in every 2.
Yeah. And you got both the ones against Barcelona?
Yeah. Yeah, go now.
اللي احنا بالكوتش وبالبلايرز الإيرلنديين دلوقتي صايرين باس.
We don't want to make a statement at this time.
And Ray Houghton once again, the man to take the corner. All the big men are up. O'Leary and Cascarino coming to the near post, on by Cascarino. Aldridge is there!
It's just a great corner on the left, and I think Cas has got a touch on, and I took a gamble and got rid of the mark and hit the back post, and it's come perfect for me.
And it's 1-0 to Ireland, 31 minutes gone, and John Aldridge claims his second international goal.
Unfortunately, I got a knock early on in the leg. I think a lot of people thought it might have been a head injury, but in fact it was actually not only just on the head but on the thigh as well. And then as I continued on, the game was getting worse and worse, and as I opened up the legs I could feel it pulling, and I signalled over to the bench then, because I realised then I couldn't sprint on it, or I couldn't even do a three-quarter pace run on it, and I just thought then that there was no point in taking a risk.
Brilliant perception there to spot Townsend on the way through, and that's Carabot, and that's a foul. That has to be a penalty, and the Dutch referee, Mr. Oudhausen, has pointed straight to the spot. Andy Townsend on his way through, pulled down by Carabot, and really that was brilliant play. And it's John Aldridge against Reggie Cheney. It's 2-0. That little jink in the run has given John Aldridge his second goal in this match.
Well, it's a little trick that, you know, I've done at Liverpool, and luckily enough it worked. Sent him the wrong way.
My priorities were to qualify us for a European Championship. If we had not qualified, I would have been expected to qualify for the World Cup. This we've done. We've qualified for the World Cup. Anything else is a bonus.
Now we have the case of Colombia. Colombia cannot play in this group, which means Colombia go into Group D. West Germany, Yugoslavia, United Arab Emirates, and Colombia. Is this the Irish card?
It's the worst throw I've ever made. Uruguay coming out now.
So that increases still further Ireland's possibilities of going into a South American group.
If I have a regret, I regret maybe that we didn't get there when I was 27, 28, you know. If I did go to Italy, I wouldn't be playing anyway, would I? So, yeah, that's the thing that people don't realise. I know, so it's quite easy to come to. Well, not easy, but it's. I can come to terms with the fact that I won't be in Italy playing.
For Brazil, it has to be this time.
The next team is Sweden.
England, Holland, and
the last name out of the hat in the very first draw, and it's the group that I'm sure we'd rather not have had.
Well, good luck with it. Hope you enjoy it.
Listen, it's done. We can do nothing about it except get on with it.
Okay, Jack. Thanks very much. Good luck with it. That's it.
That's it over, lads. We can all go home. I've no thoughts of managing anybody else except the Republic of Ireland. I will be here as long as I feel that the people want me.